Hi, my name's Alan. I've been asked to say a few words about how and why I became a Christian. I grew up going to church, Sunday school, youth group. I thought I was a Christian. Until the end of my school days, I thought that a Christian was a good person who went to church. I managed to convince myself that I was a good person. Looking back, I realised that I didn't know what a Christian was and that I wasn't a Christian. In 1981, I commenced studying and living at the University of New South Wales. I remember my dad driving me down to Sydney on that first day. I said to Dad that I decided that I wasn't going to go to church anymore. I was walking away from the Christian faith that I thought that I had. But God had other ideas. At the college that I lived at, and at the university as a whole, there were many committed Christians. They kept asking me to Bible studies and talks, and I regularly went. In August 1981, at a talk that I went to, I realised that being a Christian wasn't about being a good person. And in any event, I realised that even though I hadn't done anything terribly bad, I wasn't a good person. I had rejected God's rightful rule over my life. I realised that a Christian is a person who repents of their rebellion against God, accepts that Jesus died on the cross to pay the price for their rebellion, and turns to accept Jesus as their Lord and Saviour. Of course, these realisations weren't as a result of my brilliance, but as a result of God's work in my life. So, 40 years ago, almost to the day, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Saviour. Soon afterwards, I read the parable of the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15. Up until then, in my self-righteousness, I'd always identified with the older son, and I had not understood the parable and even resisted the teaching of the parable. For the first time, I realised that I was the younger son, and I was grateful to God that He is a forgiving Father. If you don't know the story, check out Luke 15. Being a Christian doesn't make life easy, but it is a real blessing to change from being God's enemy to being reconciled to God, both in this life and in the next.